Just look at the vibe. Pull up my brothers to drive. We doing 80 in a ride. Gotta survive. No, I ain't doing a lick, but you couldn't pay me if you tried. I'm getting tired. People who bitchin' the beef with you way too lame and made me sigh. Swallow my pride. Now I be living it up. I gotta make it for my kind. Oh, I be evaporating how I rise. Ain't no one way too angry with the lies. I got a different flavor with the rhymes. Type that you gotta savor with the mind. I'm putting my soul in it. Think that I'm out of control with it. Gotta fight for your own and ain't no givens. I'm the type to be known as a pro. Different. Trying to sink back on the scene. Finally stacking my green and getting a lot on my team. Had to go ghost. No longer see what you post. I couldn't find peace in the screen. These rappers out of control. Do all what I don't condone. I must intervene before the city get cold. Gotta let these people know who really the king. I used to try to be. Now I see ain't no goodness inside of me. So I turn to the Lord with apology. And I die to the foolish philosophy. So that praying, I pray that he proud of me. Let it go of the hate and the doubt of me. So much blessing that can't be no part of me. Not a vision he gave getting out of me. Made us wow. Rappers ain't like that, they be in the now. Tell them to write it, maybe gain a crowd. Stop all that biting, maybe claim a sound. Come to the light, it's favor going round. I'm trying to tell them it all. It really don't feel like it's getting through. I know greatness inside, this is living proof. Only dropping with fire when in the booth. Tell them I'm about action, I come to keep rapping, subtracted and overexposed when they capping. Way they be acting and claiming they stacking. It's making me sad and it's overly tragic. Think it's a game that we ain't playing Madden. And L is the only thing you gon' be catching. 2016 thought I taught them a lesson. Graduated, now I'm back with a passion. You rappers childish, must be feeding you animals. You rappers childish, must be feeding you animals. Know when I'm on the mic, I'm a cannibal. We do that sound like a plan to you. I'm finally back on the scene, child. Super sorry I had to abandon you. Just look at the vibe. Pull up my brothers to drive. We doing 80 in a ride. Gotta survive. No, I ain't doing a lick, but you couldn't pay me if you tried. I'm getting tired. People who bitchin' the beef with you way too lame and made me sigh. Swallow my pride. Now I be living it up. I gotta make it for my kind. No, I'm evaporating how I rise. Ain't no one way too angry with the lies. I got a different flavor with the rhymes. That you gotta savor with the mind. I'm putting my soul in it. Think that I'm out of control with it. Gotta fight for your own and ain't no givens. I'm the type to be known as a pro. Different. Trying to say.
Man, hold up. Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy Records Talk with the Records Talk podcast. Man, got an exclusive interview with you guys today, man. My guy, EaZ The Engineer. What's going on, my guy?
Yo, what's going on, man? Thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate you having me on.
It's a blessing, man. Like me and you were just explaining, man, I got a message not too long ago. You know what I mean? People feel like I'm putting on for the South too much, you know what I mean? And I'm always gonna put on for Houston, man. It's home, you know what I mean? But being from New York, I felt that message, you know what I mean? So when we linked up, man, it was perfect timing, man. I gotta put on for my hometown. So it's a blessing to have you, man. Before we get started, let's do shout outs, man. You got any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, man. I got a few people that I want to shout out, man. Big up to my man Towards Night, man. He's a freestyle rapper right now. He's on like 500 plus days on Twitch right now. He's freestyle streaming. He's dope. I mean, he's only been at it for about a year and a half, and he's fire, man. No stumbles, can rap with the words that he throws at you, point of views, everything, man. He's dope, man. If you get a chance, go check him out, man. He's Towards Night on Twitch. That's my guy, man. We've been making music together forever. He started originally, you know, as a rock musician and singing. And one day, man, the rapping just clicked, man, and he's dope, man. Go check him out. Also wanted to shout out my man Gustavo Beats, man. We linked up actually through Instagram. I had hollered at him a few months back, man. I was telling him that I really liked his beats, you know, and then, you know, a couple months later, after I had dropped my debut, he hit me up telling me that he had checked out my stuff too and he liked it. He wanted to collab. So we collabed on a joint called The Love and Hate Thing, which we're gonna play for y'all today. So shout out to Gustavo Beats. Yeah, man, and just all of New York City, you know, all of Brooklyn, you know, everybody all in the Mecca, just, you know, keep representing.
Hell yeah. East Coast stand up, New York stand the fuck up. For real, for real. Man, I got so many shout outs to give. Where do I start, man? Number one, I want to thank everybody that showed love to our event we had last Thursday, Kicks and Cocktails. Major event. It exceeded our expectations like a motherfucker, man. So everybody that showed up, I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. Big shout out to Low Rock Entertainment. Big shout out to Royal Mammoth Urban Outfitters. Big shout out to OZ the DJ. He was on the ones and twos that night. Man, my boy Rich Alexander. Every artist that performed that night, it was amazing. Man, on the podcast aspect, man, that is officially my #1 episode. We just hit 1,000 views today. You know what I mean? So big shout outs to everybody, man, for showing love on that, man. For real, for real. In saying that, man, it's a blessing to have you on here, man. And give everybody a little backstory like I always do. Y'all already know I'll be scrolling, I'll be looking for artists, man. And I ran across one of the dudes, freestyles. Man, when I said I had to hit him up real quick, man, freestyle, man, he's a lyricist. Like a lyricist, man, for it's amazing, man. And like I said, I put on for the H-Town. I've been in the H for a long time now. But just hearing you, bro, like to be honest, man, hearing you just brought me back home. You know what I mean? That New York
that's what I aim for, man. I definitely aim for that when you hear me. There's no secrets about where I'm from as soon as you hear me. So
facts.
I'm glad that's something that appealed to you, man, because that's something that I take a lot of pride in.
Man, hell yeah, bro. Like, as soon as I heard you, I'm like, man, I'm back home. I felt back on the stoop. You know what I mean? Nice, just kicking it on a summer afternoon. You know what I mean?
Word up.
For real, for real. But look, let's go ahead and get started, man. Let's tell everybody where you from and how was it like growing up in your city?
Oh man, so New York, born and raised, man. So I originally was born in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. That's where I got into hip hop. That's where I started doing my thing, man. Stood there till I was about like 15 or so, and then I moved out to Shaolin, out in Staten Island, and I was there, for a good, I want to say 5 to 7 years. Out in Staten Island, word.
Alright, that's my hometown right there.
Yeah, man, and then from there, from Staten Island, I ended up moving back to Brooklyn, and then I was there the majority of my time. Eventually, you grow up, you get a family, whatever, and I ended up I copped the crib out in New Jersey, so I'm out in Jersey right now, but I'm New York born and raised, man, from the heart. Everything that I do in my music and everything is all from everything that I picked up growing up in New York. It was the '90s, man, so it was we at that time, we was dominating hip hop, so it was pride when you said you were from New York at that time, so that's where my influences come from. And I do have an appreciation for modern hip hop and the modern sound, but when I go and I create, what comes out is just what I'm inspired with. So a lot of my sound has that. And earlier, my early days, I almost looked at it like a crutch, but then I just had to embrace it, because even though it may not be what's quote unquote popping at the moment, you're only going to be best at what you do best. So for me, I embraced it, and now I do it to the fullest, and no insecurities, no nothing. Whatever I want to say, I say it, and I say it in my New York way.
Already, hell yeah, for real. Man, how did you get your start in music? A lot of artists either got their start in the church or the school. What's your story?
So my story is I started writing rhymes early, man. I want to say I was like 12 or so, maybe 11 or so, writing rhymes, and it would be an on and off kind of thing, spare time stuff. But then eventually I started getting more serious in high school. I was doing ciphers in school, ciphers in the park, stuff like that. And when I started really getting more serious with it, because I was getting good feedback and just the energy that I was feeling, I was really loving. I started going to studios and started trying to record my own stuff. And in one way or another, I wouldn't really be happy with the product that I would come home with. I would like, verse 1, but verse 2 needed work, or the hook was all right, but I should have did it this way, so on and so forth. And it was just a lot of back and forth of trying to perfect my craft and not really getting the sound that I wanted, or feeling like I needed more practice. But your pockets go broke trying to get practice, renting out a bunch of studio time and shit. So eventually I started getting into gear, man, and just trying to record myself, and failing at first like so many people do. I ended up going to SAE. I graduated from there in about 2008, I want to say, and that kind of sparked the knowledge that I needed to make my stuff sound right. And then from there, it was just about continuing to do it and gaining experience. But my first real taste of wanting to do music was hip hop. Like, I know a lot of artists, when they're telling their story, it's always when Mom Dukes was playing at home, or stuff like that. For me, it really wasn't that, man. It was all Spanish music bumping in my crib, and not to say that I didn't enjoy it, but it wasn't like I wanted to go out there and sing Spanish music. It was something about hip hop, something about the lyrics, something about how it spoke to me, growing up in New York, that was what hit me. That was what I wanted to do. So the influence came from the music itself, which goes to show you the power of an artist, man. You put your art out there wanting to affect people, but unless you get direct feedback, you never really know how you affect people. But it happens like that, man. Somebody you don't know who may never meet you hears your stuff and could be inspired to go in their own lane and do their own thing.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Talking about inspiration, who would you say, what artist inspired your style?
So, my style directly, I would probably say my favorite artist growing up was Nas. So because of that, a lot of like my lyricism, the ideas that I craft and stuff like that comes from, that influence. But I mean, I soaked it all in, man. If it mainstream New York, underground New York, all of it. It was from Mos Def to obviously Big, then there was Pac and all of that. But I was just a sponge, man. It was it's if you actually counted how many rhymes I got in my head, not just my own, but I can recite thousands of songs word for word, just because it just I don't know, man. It was just something that I absorbed, and because of it, it's kind of what's shaped what I do today and how I do it. It's something that like I don't even have to hear it more than 10, 15 times, and all of a sudden I start remembering the lines. And then we're not even talking about my own thousands of
Yeah,
rhymes
yeah.
that I've written. We talking about other people's stuff. So it's just I don't know. It's just a knack that I had, and it's funny because my son is 4 years old, and he's not only reciting my stuff that he's hearing, but he's reciting like lyrics to songs that he's hearing, whether it's Spider-Man or whatever. And I could tell that he already got it. Like it clicks, something clicks, and he's able to recite the words. It's just so bugged out to see it.
Man, that's awesome, man. Cause that's one thing, kids don't lie, especially at that age. You know what I
Nah,
mean? So
yeah.
if your son's memorizing your stuff at that age, you good. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, and it's
at that
surprising. It
age,
be the songs that I wouldn't even expect them to like I would expect him to just ignore it completely, and he's just singing it under his breath. It blows my mind.
yeah, that's awesome, man. Cause at that age, the kids don't care about feelings. They're gonna tell you the truth.
Nothing. Yeah,
You gonna be like,
exactly.
Dad, it was good. Dad, you suck. They don't care. Kids have
Yeah,
no
yeah.
type of filter.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's what's
definitely,
up, though.
definitely, man. I've got those too from older like nieces and nephews. Definitely the you ain't as good as this person. I'm like, all right, thanks. Yeah, I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
that's
I
one thing.
appreciate that.
Family and kids gonna be your biggest
Nah, they gonna
critics.
keep it real. Yeah, they gonna keep it real. But that's all good, man. That's
For
that, that's
real,
why
for real.
that's why you love them.
Facts.
Yeah,
What are
man.
you working on right now? What can we expect from you in the future?
So, good question, man. So I did recently just drop my debut album, Cinematic Rap. I dropped that back on April 24th. And I got two singles that are out right now. Called one is called When It Goes Down, and then the other one is a Love and Hate Thing, that I did with Gustavo Beats. Right now, what I'm currently working on, which I should be dropping in the next, I want to say month or two, is an EP with producer slash rapper slash engineer slash jack of all trades. His name is Jake Palumbo. Very, very talented, all around artist. And me and him got a 3-track EP coming out. That should be coming out soon. I'm gonna start promoting it soon. I just gotta gather up a little bit of artwork and a few promo videos and stuff. But the tracks are already done, so I got that finished and taken care of. So that's gonna be dropping. It's called Engineer to Engineer. So that's me and him collabing on that. I got another EP that I'm trying to drop by the end of the year with my man's Ark Medina, who I do a podcast with. So we're gonna drop a 5-track EP. We got one joint done now, so we're gonna try to get back to work on that and release that by the end of the year. That's called Easy Architecture. That's the name of that joint. So that'll be dropping by the end of the year, and then the next EP, which is in the next couple months, that's Engineer to Engineer with Jake Palumbo.
Yeah, making some moves, man. That's what's up, man. Proud of
Yeah,
you, bro.
always.
For
I'm
real,
trying
for
to I'm
real.
trying to keep working, man, because a lot of what I realized before was it was being stagnant that kind of causes no productivity. So I'm just trying to keep working, whether it's making beats, whether it's putting out joints, writing joints, man. Even social media content, man. Just something to keep furthering progress every day, just
Yeah.
trying not to be stagnant.
No, I hear that, man. Man, what would you say? At what point in your career did you feel, not even your career, before you even started your whole rap career? At what point did you realize you had a special talent and you realized, you know what, I want to be a rapper. This is what I want to do.
I would probably say it was. There's probably two, three, or four different times where I got different. Like I would say in my younger days, it would be just hearing good feedback from a crowd, whether it would be clapping, whether it would be the stank faces, whether it's the whatever it was. That type of stuff kind of made me keep doing it. and then, you know, obviously you get your lulls where you get caught up in other shit and you don't really continue. Then it was, you know, having a dope record and, you know, not having it sound so great, that kind of pushed me to engineering. And that was like another one where it was like, okay, this is what I want to do, because I've always been a very technical person, and music in terms of creation is more art than anything technical. So it was always something where I'm not going to say I was out of my element, but it wasn't what I was familiar with. But then when I got into engineering and everything started to become ones and zeros, and you know, like everything was defined, whether it was effects, whether it was, you know, leveling out, or things like that, it started to make more sense to me on a technical aspect, and I really did fall in love with that too. uh Obviously, you know, you work 1,000 sessions and you end up getting burnt out a little bit on that, but that was another time where something kind of clicked. And then I don't know, man, it was just, maybe it's the landscape of hip hop now where older artists are getting breaks that they never got back in the day, or the fact that the internet has grown so huge that there's an audience for everybody. As long as
Hmm.
you know your lane and you know the audience that you want to target, there's an audience for everybody. And being that art, this music shit was the only thing that ever really made me feel fulfilled, something clicked there around last year where I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go hard again. And even if nothing comes of it, at least I got product that 20, 30 years down the line, I could say, you know what, I did this, I got this, I tried this, and this is
Yeah.
what came out of it, you know? So it was like 3 or 4 different times throughout my life that led to this, where now, like, every day I'm just going in, I'm going hard, whether it's writing music, recording music, mixing music, putting my shit out there, promoting it, you know, one man army, whatever it takes, I'm doing it. I just did a performance actually on Monday at Parkside Lounge in the Lower East Side, where I performed Art of Rap and a Love and Hate thing. So I'm trying to do more of that, and just trying to do a little bit of everything, and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the performance thing. That was actually my next question. You know, we talked a few days ago. We mentioned your schedule you got coming up, whatever. And then you also perform, if I'm not mistaken, Friday or Saturday. Um, what has been so far your favorite place to perform at?
Well, I mean, so far I haven't done too many right now. The only ones that I did around New York so far has been at the Parkside Lounge, which to me is dope, man. The crowd is awesome. Shout out to Mike Geffner, man, the host there for Monday and Tuesdays open mic. Um, lot of great talent, definitely a good time. You know, no real tension, no real nerves. You know, everybody is just really, really full of support. So that so far that has been one of my only experiences in terms of performing. I'm trying to branch out a little bit. A lot of what I've done has been online. So I've been doing more Twitch performances and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get more out there and in person. So far, I mean, that's the only place that I could really shout out, because that's the only place I've been to where I've performed as an artist. So I'm trying to, branch out and do more of that.
Yeah. Well, what would you say would be your dream venue to perform at?
Oh man, I mean, I think everybody from New York wants to sell out the Garden. That's always the dream. If I mean, I obviously you visualize it, you manifest it, and you make it happen no matter what. But honestly, man, it could be 5 people, man. As long as people are feeling it, I'll down to rock anywhere, do anything, man. I mean, the more that I do it consistently, the more I realize how much I love this rap shit. And I mean, again, there's nothing else that even comes close. Not shooting hoops, not if the Mets ever won a championship, maybe, in my lifetime, that might come a little bit close. But other than that, there's
Oh,
nothing that brings me any kind of joy like this shit.
well, it's saying that I'm a Yankee fan, got a tan
Of
on my
course,
hands. So I,
it's all
I hope
good.
the Mets never win a
I
championship.
forgive you. I forgive you. It's all right, man. Nah, man. I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe it's the one thing I'm not allowed to see, man, because we made it twice in my lifetime and it didn't happen. We
That
lost
Subway
once to the
Series.
Yanks. Yeah, we lost once to the Yanks. But I have definitely more faith now than I did previously with this new owner, man. Even in a bad year, I'm not stressing it. He's
Yeah,
gonna
y'all
do what
looking
he got
good,
to do.
bro. Y'all been looking good the past few seasons, for real. I
Yeah,
can't even
man.
front.
And even if we bomb, man, he's not going to be okay with that. I know that he's going to do whatever he needs to do to get us back up to where we're competitive. You never knew that before, not with the previous owners, man. You
And then
just
and
never
then y'all
knew.
got that boy, what's his name, Alonzo, that little young
Yeah,
boy.
yeah,
That
yeah,
boy.
yeah, yeah, man. Actually, man, I know if we're doing shout outs, man, shout out to Francisco Alvarez, man. That dude is 21 years old. Mets catcher, yo, market. He's gonna be a beast, bro. That dude is gonna be a beast.
Yeah.
He's
That's what's
scratching the
up.
surface of what he's gonna be. So look out for him, man.
Yeah. And saying that, we gonna go ahead and play another track. Which one we listen to? The Art of War first, huh?
Art of Rap. Yeah, you can play the Art of Rap first. Yeah, definitely. That's my first single off the Cinematic Rap album.
Let's do it.
Now your performance.
We get into it.
3 times the electrolytes.
Man, would you say when you cause you being from Brooklyn and moving to Staten Island, man, how would you say the love was? Did you get good reception when it comes to the rap game?
You definitely have to earn it. You have to earn it a little more because in Brooklyn, I mean, you got way more neighborhoods. You got more. You could be a star in your own hood in Brooklyn, and it'd be. But in Staten Island, I mean, there's a whole side of Staten Island where ain't nobody rapping on that side. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit smaller. It's more close knit. Yeah, I mean, whether it's in the streets or whether it's rapping or whatever it is, you definitely got to earn it. You're gonna be looked at as an outsider. At least, I mean, again, we're talking back then. I can't really speak to now, but you really had to earn it because you are looked at as an outsider if you're not from there.
Yeah, and that's why I asked. I grew up in Staten Island. I'm from New Brighton. You know what I mean? And it was always that tension, Brooklyn. Staten Island.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not. It's with reason, man. When anybody ever talks about Staten Island, it's always a case of a little brother kind of a thing. But I mean, they've earned their respect in this, man, and not just Wu-Tang, but just in general. Staten Island has definitely earned their respect in this hip hop shit.
Yeah, appreciate that. And saying that, man, here we are, the Art of Rap.
Yeah. EaZ The Engineer. It's towards night and Prep Sound Production. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. My words is worth 1,000 pictures. So this is my scripture. My life's like art. I'm off the charts with my smarts. My pen game sharp, not off the dome. This is off the heart. But what I want and what I had, it was miles apart. Plus in the world, the bright sparks, my whole style is dark. It got me torn apart. Maybe I'm too eccentric. Maybe I'm too subdued. I hope you don't resent it. Maybe I'm just sick of speeding with the broken engine. Or maybe it's the struggle when you feel like hope is ended. Could be any maybe. If I'm hurting, it's for certain. Do whatever to whoever. If you're trying to close my curtains, you can play this fake till you come across as perfect. And you wind up face to face with who you worship. It feels like I bared my soul. I just scratched the surface. Keep a level head, cause being brash is worthless. As sure as the earth spins, you'll be nodding to the hooks, you'll be rocking to the verse. I give you pictures for the world to see. Imagery painted so vividly, and it's as real as it'll ever. I give you pictures for the world to see. Imagery painted so vividly, and it's as real as it'll ever. Yo, my portraits from the block to the corporate. The next stop's the Forbes list with a fortune. From the bricks to a fortress. Took the whole cake and didn't settle for a portion. Was taught beyond my portion, now I look beyond that portion. Prescribed the 24/7 with your life is force shit. And you won't catch me selling out my soul, that's force shit. We could play the long game, I got the horses. If it means stomach and what make you nauseous, wearing any burden, bearing any crosses, I'm gonna get it. It don't matter what the cost is, I spend it. I see the bigger picture, that's with pun intended. Latin's going platinum, the way that pun intended. That's how I came up, that's how I represent it. Keep it splendid from start to motherfucking ending. Stay authentic in the boardroom or the trench. I give you pictures for the world to see. Imagery painted so vividly, and it's as real as it'll ever. I gave you pictures for the world to see. Imagery painted so vividly, and it's as real as it'll ever be. This shit is for my brothers, my pops and my mother, for my peoples in the hustle, still ducking under covers. For my wife and my son, daddy made it out the gutter. My sisters, nieces, nephews, uncles, aunts, and cousins, y'all made me what I am. Every word and rhyme I utter. Each thing provides the canvas, love provided colors. Even if my brush was rugged and made smudges rose above it. Just remember, if you're standing at my grave with the rose above it, I didn't need the same ink, even with the public. Can't conceal when you're real, so if they don't like it, fuck it. Take me as I am, along with what I wish I wasn't. Until I kick the bucket, suck it off, I'm what you start with it. Between you and me, when you mix every blood, sweat, and tear, it can only blend beautifully. Keep the praise, but you better hold the scrutiny. I stand by everything I said, I put that on my duty. I gave you pictures for the world to see. Imagery painted so vividly, and it's as real as it'll ever. I gave you pictures for the world to see. Imagery painted so vividly, and it's as real as it'll ever be.
Man,
Yeah.
man, hold up, man. That's what's up, man. The art of rap. Shit. Let's get right into it, man. Let's talk about the creative process, man. How did that song come about, man? And we got Jay in the comments, man. He said that go hard right there.
Oh man, thank you, bro.
I
I
mean,
appreciate it, Jay.
what's going down, Jay? Yeah, let's talk about the creative process and how did that track come about?
So it's funny, man. That one really wasn't planned, man. So basically, the way that I had started my whole process of really trying to go in was so I've been rapping for a long time, and I'd been in the studio. I've had a bunch of studios, I've ran studios, all that, but I never really was a beat maker. Obviously, I work with beat makers. I knew the whole technical aspect of making a beat, how to build it, but never really did it myself. So I started going on YouTube. I started going through like piano, like finger exercises, trying to loosen them up and trying to get myself to a position where I could maybe make something that could be, usable or all right. So it was more of just trying to find out what I can do. So I'm gonna say about two whack ones, like just whack ones, and then something, man, just clicked. I ended up making that art of rap beat, and I really liked it. And in my head, I'm like, oh, am I wrong for liking this shit? This is only beat number 3. In my mind, in my mind, I'm supposed to get to like number 300 before I actually like it, right? So then I started making a couple more, and they were sounding better to me, man. So I'm like, all right, I am onto something here. Something is
Yeah.
really working. So I was like, you know what? Let me take that beat. Let me see if I can make a joint out of it. So my creative process is a little different than most in the sense that when I start writing, it's a verse is what comes out, man. Don't ask me why. Don't like a lot of people will pick a topic first or make a hook first and try to build. But when I start writing, man, it's a verse. Maybe because of the style of hip hop that I'm influenced by, but a verse is what comes out. So I had a verse, then I wrote a second and a third, and then I tried to look at what I'm saying, and then I tried to come up with a theme, and then that's when I was like, yo, I'm basically just talking about myself in hip hop. So I started to try to come up with a hook, and the hook came out, and I recorded the joint, and then to spruce it up, I threw a couple of scratches in there and added my effects and stuff, and it all came together. But that one really wasn't planned, and it's funny because that's the first song I recorded for this album. So the rest of the album actually came later. But even after making 10 more joints, I still pushed that one as my first single because I was really feeling it that much, and it never went away. Even after making 11 more songs or 10 more songs for the album, I it didn't really replace it in terms of the one that I felt would be the one that hits people the most. So that
Yeah.
I kept pushing that one.
I like that, man. So when I ask all you artists these questions, man, I always try to switch up my questions, but that's one question I think I probably ask every single artist because and I love all your answers, man. All your answers are different, creative
Different,
process is different, man.
everybody's
It's
creative.
amazing, man. Like you said, somebody might start with the beat, somebody might start with the pen, somebody might start with the hook. Everyone's different, man, and just to hear everyone's different creative processes and their techniques, it's amazing, man. For real, for real.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's grown for me. Like at that time, maybe a beat would have took me, I want to say 4 or 5 days. Now, especially like once this year, I don't know, man. When New Year hit, just something clicked. I was making one a day for a while, and my second son was born on February 12th, so that kind of threw a little wrench in the whole one a day kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for a while, man, I was doing one, and I'm talking about finished, like sequenced everything one a day. So even by the time he was born, I had like 50 to choose from. So
Yeah.
to finish up the album, it was real quick. So my process now is a little bit different. Now I'll spend 2 3 weeks making beats, and then out of those 18 to 20, I'll pick my next three, and I'll start writing my songs off that. And that doesn't mean that I'm just married to that either, because like the EP that I'm doing with Jake that I'm dropping in a couple of months or so, that one I let him pick the beats. I was like, you know what, I'm working with you, you pick. Even if I wouldn't have picked them for myself, you pick, and I'm gonna rock, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm not gonna just be mediocre either, just because I wouldn't have picked the beat. I'm gonna go in
Yeah.
and force myself to adapt to that. And I love the finished product. Like, I love these 3 joints. I can't wait to put them out. And totally would not have been beats that I would have picked for myself. So that's another thing that I'm trying to just also be able to adapt to who I'm working with, what I'm working on, what the song might be for. I'm trying to take it all into account, because I feel like a good artist, a great artist, should be able to have their creativity shine on anything, man. Sometimes you get limitations placed upon you, and you can't churn out, bad work and then use that shit as an excuse. You got to be able to still put out quality stuff.
Yeah, and I like what you just said, man. Man, respects and big ups to you, man. You said that wouldn't have been a beat you would have picked for yourself.
Wouldn't.
You know what I mean?
Definitely
And
wouldn't.
the fact that you went outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of up and coming artists won't get out their comfort zone.
Right.
Or scared to get out their comfort zone because they ready to make a name for themselves.
Thing. Yeah, it's a fan base thing. They think that if I do that, I might lose whatever traction I got. But honestly, man, the way I see it is, if you like it, forget about all that shit, because as long as you're doing what you like, it's gonna show in the music.
Mhm.
It's definitely gonna show through the music, as long as you're doing something you like. And trust me, if you're doing something that you don't like, that shit is gonna show too.
Yeah.
So, put out what you like, do what you like. Don't try to conform, man. It doesn't mean you can't adapt and step out of your comfort zone. It just means that don't be afraid to, because as long as you're doing what you're doing and you like it at the end of the day, you can't go wrong. And if you don't, scrap it, but you got to try.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely agree, man. Who would you say? What's one collab you would love to do?
That's a real hard question, man, and I kind of really don't even have an answer. I mean, you could always give your dream answer and say, obviously I want to work with the people that I grew up idolizing, whether it's Nas, whether it's Method Man, and all that. But I don't know if the zone I'm in right now, if I even see that. Like, could I step in tomorrow and do that? Of course I would try, but I'm so focused on trying to do my thing and get my stuff out, and that I'm not even. I'm more excited right now to work with other independent artists who I feel are talented, that I can collab with and make myself grow more with. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm doing the project with Jake. That's why I'm doing this project at the end of the year with Arc, because even though I've known them and even though I've worked together with them in some capacity or another, I've never really mixed art together.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm destined to come up with stuff that I would have never done otherwise. So my excitement in terms of collaboration is, one, I mean, anybody who's willing, because if I'm feeling you and you're willing, then let's do it.
Yeah.
But more importantly, my excitement comes from, man, what could we make together? What could that finished product sound like? I'm excited to hear that. Like, I love the process of creating, but don't get me wrong. When I hit play on a finished track and I hear the whole thing, that's where the euphoria comes in, the feeling of like, wow, that's where that comes in. The creative process, I'm so in the zone when I'm doing it that oftentimes I really can't even appreciate it as it's coming together. Then when I hear it and it's done, I'm like, yo, I got something with this. Or, no, I don't have something with this. Let me try something else. But it's at the end when I hear it put together.
Definitely. Yeah. That's another question I love asking you guys. Cause I always get my input also. I think you would have a great collab with Truth out of Tampa, Florida. He's a young cat out of Tampa. He's from New York. Young cat in Tampa. He basically lived in Tampa his whole life. Excuse me. Very talented. He makes beats also. Very talented young man. I interviewed him not too long ago. He actually won Apollo Tampa.
Oh, word.
You know what I mean? Oh, y'all both of y'all delivery is right there with each other, man. I think that would be amazing.
Same pocket. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna check it out.
So in saying that, like I said, my podcast is all about bringing artists together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Helping y'all reach our goals and y'all dreams. So I'll definitely reach out to him. You know what I mean? And link y'all up, and y'all can go from there, man. But I think that'll be an awesome
That's
collab with you
beautiful.
guys, for real, man.
Yeah,
That's why I do what I do, man. I'm living my dream, and like I said, I want to help people reach their goals and their dreams, man. And that would be a badass collab. He's actually I know he's actually where I can't speak too much on it, but he's working on a collab with another artist I had on here, Cricket Moon. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I love about this platform I have. A lot of artists that I've interviewed, they done linked up together and doing things together now. You know what I mean? So it's amazing. We have another event coming up next month called the Midwest Invasion. You know what I mean? I interviewed this artist out of Kankakee, Illinois. Right? It's a small town outside of Chicago. You know, and now we got an event coming. He coming to Houston. You know what I mean? He's bringing artists from Kankakee and the surrounding areas, and I got my artist out here, and we about to do a big 2-day show. You know what I mean? So it's all about everybody networking, and man, that'd be a badass collab, for real.
Nice.
Man.
You got me hyped. You got me hyped. Yeah, let's try to set that in motion. I would definitely love to do that, man. And yeah, and speaking on that, man, the networking, man, I love it, man. Because obviously when you want to say about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when everything started moving towards more digital than in person, there was a lot of bad things to say about it. But to be honest with you, man, it's made it so that artists who never would have had this reach before the whole social media explosion have I mean, think about it. I mean, we connected and we reached each other just based off of the social media. So I love it, man. I think having a bad attitude about it is the wrong way to go, man. As an artist, the quicker that you can embrace it and the quicker that you can, get your feet on the ground with it and really, really use it to your benefit, the more the more beneficial it's going to be towards you, and the more that you're going to progress quickly. Otherwise, man, I mean, if you're not doing it, then what are you doing? Because I mean,
exactly.
you got to get on it.
They say, man, it takes a tragedy for the good things to happen, man. And really, COVID really is what brought this whole virtual game to life. You know what I mean? I used a lot more people were doing collabs virtually. Podcasts, like it's like I said, it was a tragedy what happened, but you know what I mean. It opened up another door.
A little light shine through. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But in saying that, man, we're gonna go ahead and end this interview. But before we do that, one last question. So, what advice would you give to all up and coming artists, or not even artists, just entrepreneurs in general, that younger generation? What advice would you give them?
What advice would I give them? All right. I guess just based off my experience the last few months and trying to grow, one, attack this shit with 1000% confidence, man. Think about it, man. If you don't do it, somebody's gonna scroll past you, and the next person's gonna be there ready to take their attention. So attack this shit with 1000% confidence. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to hear no. I mean, you can have 1,000 no's, man. It only takes one yes to change your life. Just, come in with that attitude. Whatever you do, you are the best at that shit, and you belong, and you definitely belong. Because if you don't have that mindset, if you don't wake up with that mindset, go to sleep with that mindset, it's going to be very hard for you to be able to be in a group of people who do it with that mindset. It's going to show, and your lack of it is definitely going to show too, man. And don't be afraid to invest in it, man. I mean, I know that it seems daunting because nobody wants to ever lose money, but even when you lose money, man, a lesson can be learned, bro. So just don't be afraid to invest in yourself, whether it can be gear or advertising or anything. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. You are always the best investment. So do what you're doing with that, and gratitude, man. Gratitude. Stay away from feeling bitter. Stay away from just feeling like you're owed something. Nobody's owed anything, man. So just try to do your best each day and grow a little bit more each day, man. And you'll see the results, man. You may not see them tomorrow, and if you're expecting to see them tomorrow, you're going to be disappointed. But just keep on doing what you're doing, man. And if you're good, if you're presenting quality, you're gonna shine through, man, because quality always rises to the top.
Yep, man. You just open up a whole new topic. We can't even end the show yet. We can't even end the show yet.
Let me know.
Now that's real though, because you have to invest in yourself. You have to spend money. You know what I mean? if you're not willing to spend money, and this is not just for artists, this is just for entrepreneurs, anybody that's trying to do
Anybody,
something. If
anybody.
you're not willing to spend money on what you got going, do you really believe in yourself?
Right,
Just think
exactly.
about that.
Because you'll
Think
spend
about
this
it.
so fast on something else, man. Whether it's your kicks, whether it's your jewelry, whether it's whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you'll spend it on anything else for what? For 5 minutes of joy before they get scuffed or
Yep.
something like that, you know. So it's
Yep.
invest in yourself. It'll go further, man. It's that kind of money will make you money, man. Even if you're not gonna see it right away, that nobody saw it right away, man. And if they presenting it that way, that's on purpose. That's to get you to think that, but that's definitely not the case, man. And invest. It don't mean to be dumb with your money either, because nobody's gonna last long doing that. But it just means that if there's a good opportunity that's there that presents itself, and you're questioning whether you should do it, and there's a lot more pros than cons, even if it ends up failing later, it wasn't a bad move. Get up,
Yeah.
try again,
Mm-hmm.
try again.
And I'm glad you said that, man. Everything's not gonna be a hit. You know what I mean?
No, definitely not.
I'm 4.5 months in on this podcast, and I did an episode a week and a half ago, and I'm not gonna lie, it was amazing. Don't get me wrong, amazing interview. You know what I mean? Amazing interview, amazing episode. But the people wasn't feeling it. I'm gonna keep it real, and here it's sitting at 15 views in almost a week and a half.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And it made me question myself, like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And then here you go, the next episode, 1,000 views.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
it could happen. It could happen that fast, man, or maybe not that fast. Maybe
yeah,
it takes a little bit, but that don't mean that it's not going to get there. Don't. Everybody gets discouraged, man. Whoever tells you they don't, they're lying to you. Everybody gets discouraged, but you got to push past that shit, and it's the way that you push past it that's gonna define you and separate you out from the other 1,000 people who may have given up based off that discouragement. You know,
yeah,
so if your heart is in it, man. Now, if you're just looking to do something because you ain't got nothing to do and you want to do something, that's a little different, man. But if you love what you're doing and you can't see yourself doing nothing else, there is no wrong move for you to pursue that. Definitely pursue it.
big time facts. For real. And I know the internet is real ugly. So whoever someone's gonna hear this, someone's watching this episode, or someone in the future is gonna watch this episode and hear 1,000 views, and y'all about to run to my YouTube page.
Yeah, but
and
yo,
y'all
that
gonna be
ain't
like,
shit.
y'all gonna be like, where the fuck is this video? I don't see it.
Oh yeah.
You know, my 1,000 views I have is actually on my Facebook. So if y'all go to my Facebook, Jay Reckless, my last episode I did on there is on here. Just over 1,000 views earlier today. The only reason why we are not streaming on Facebook and YouTube today, let's keep it real. The algorithm don't fuck with me. I promoted. This is how you know I'm a good promoter, man. My Facebook page is a business page. It's a business account, certified.
Right.
I promoted so much for our event last week, the algorithm thought I was spam.
Wow.
So I can't send pictures. I can't. We'll post. I can't send pictures. That's why if you notice, I'm promoting on my other page. You know what I mean? I can't send pictures, videos. I can't tag nobody, nothing. You know what I mean? So usually I'm live when I'm doing these shows. I'm live on Facebook and YouTube, but that's another. I can't go live on Facebook right now.
Gotcha.
So for anybody that's gonna look at my YouTube and like, I don't see that 1,000 views you got, go to my Facebook page and it's on that right there. Kicks and cocktails.
You're also gonna have your people who be like 1,000 views while you celebrating that, man. Fuck all that.
Exactly.
Celebrate whatever means a lot to you.
How happy I am, bro.
Yo, whatever. If it means something to you, that shit is worth celebrating.
Facts.
Don't let nobody tell you no different. Remember that anybody who's gonna knock you, anybody that's gonna say some shit derogatory, is somebody who ain't doing as good as you. Because there ain't nobody that's ever doing better than you that's gonna waste their time trying to talk down to you. So it's always the people that ain't doing as good. You gotta ignore that shit. Let that shit slide right off, man. Don't even wait.
Hell yeah. Man, it's saying that we're gonna end this interview, man. It was a pleasure, man. It was an honor to have you on here. I wish you success beyond your imagination, brother. I mean that for
same
real.
Here, man. Same here. I appreciate you having me. I appreciate you having me on. I'm so glad and grateful for the fact that we were able to connect on it. And let me leave other independent artists with a little tip here, man. If you want to use your money smartly and not waste it before you get a chance to actually make some noise, here's a little tip, man. If you only got a certain amount of money to spend on advertising, wait till you got some shit that does well on its own and then spend the money on that. Don't force nothing to try to blow up that hasn't already gotten organic engagement. You're just gonna end up wasting your money. How me and you linked up was I boosted a post that already was doing well, if I would have picked some shit that wasn't doing well, trust me, nobody would have hit me up for nothing. I would have got no responses, nothing.
Yeah.
When you got some shit that does well on its own, celebrate it, feel good about it, but then present it to the world, man. Boost it. Because I mean, the app ain't gonna do it on its own. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
force it, put some money into it, and let the world see your talent, man. Because trust me, it's if it's worth seeing, people will take notice.
Facts, big time facts, man. In saying that, this your boy Reckless Talk with my guy, EaZ The Engineer. Episode 52, man. It's a wrap. We out of here.
Peace.